Welcome to Next Topic Podcast, where the only rule is to stay on topic and no topic is off limits. My name is Lo.
My name is Shad.
And I'm Cam.
And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about labels. You're supposed to say, like, what labels or something.
Oh, what labels, Lauren?
Okay.
Labels?
We're talking about labels that we place on relationships and the dynamics of all of that.
Oh, okay.
So,
let's get into it.
well, before I get into it, as promised, I am going to kick us off with some, what I'm calling politidates.
Oh,
so these are
politidates.
our political updates for the week. So first, President, or maybe I'll just say Biden, because I always do.
President
Biden, yes. President Biden signed an executive order essentially lifting the ban that I don't want to call him, Trump, had put in place for transgender people serving in the military. So essentially, any able-bodied, willing person who wants to serve in the military can, which makes total sense to me.
I never understood the point of like why transgender people can't be in the military.
I didn't either. But
Cameron, tell us. You was in the army when Trump was the president?
I was. I think my best guess, based off of experience, is we do a lot of training by sex as well. And like we do go through sharp briefs and stuff like that, which is sexual harassment and rape prevention or whatever. And sometimes they separate the women and men. And I think they as in the military and organization doesn't know how to put a transgender in the perspective category, even if they identify as a woman. It's still certain shit pertains to them as a man. You know what I mean? Like as your biological
sex.
Yeah. Versus what you identify as. So it can be a tad confusing in how to train that person. And then you don't want to be like, oh, well, I have to train you in both. Then it could cause an issue and be like, well, that's unfair too.
Why don't you say like if you were born biologically male, you still have like male
genitalia?
Yeah.
But I guess that brings up, we were having a separate conversation about like how transgendered people want to be viewed and treated. So like if I'm a transgendered woman, I'm assuming, I don't want to obviously speak for transgender people, but like if outwardly I am, assuming that role and I'm asking you to, I didn't call me a woman, like I want to be with women. I don't want to be separated.
Right.
And be treated as a man because that's the gender I was assigned at birth.
So I think it's confusing in how to put it into practical use while also not offending people. You know what I mean?
But I could also imagine there's like probably a bunch of protections you have to have in place for those people and like offering them certain support. You know what I mean? That unless the entire organization is willing to provide that.
That's what I was thinking. I think it's a money thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay for that support. I want to pay the medical, because you got to pay for the medical expenses associated with that as well. And all that costs money.
That's fair because that goes to, they don't do braces no more. They don't like braces. They don't do like, so at one.
I'm sorry, if I serve this country, whatever I need.
See, but the reason why they stopped doing that is because I know personally a few women who would go to mental health services to say they were depressed because of body shaming when nobody was body shaming them, just to get free breast augmentation.
Oh.
So it's like a catch-22 on both sides. Like, it may be true, but then also you could just be taking advantage of the money and using it to change your body because that's just what you want. You don't want to pay for it. When in all reality, that's not going to help you do your job.
Okay, this is I don't want to go too long on this, but this is a good conversation. Thank you. Appreciate the comments. The next thing I wanted to mention was Pete Buttigieg. He was confirmed.
Buttigieg.
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard. What'd you say?
Pete.
He was confirmed.
Mayor Pete.
I didn't hear what she said. So I'm like, what?
He was confirmed for his role in I was going to say President Biden, child. President Biden's cabinet, and I think it's for transportation, right? That's what he would be leading. But anyways, he's now the first openly gay person serving in a presidential cabinet, which is great. I think that's awesome.
Monumental. Yeah. I always wondered how they picked it. What makes him an expert in transportation?
Child, I don't know. What made Ben Carson an expert?
I don't know what makes anyone expert in any of the stuff that they're ever in.
I think that's the funny thing about it. I think the older we get, and as we get more into like politics and like what's happening, who's calling the shots, you realize like a lot of these people, they don't have any sort of resume that qualifies them.
Mm-hmm. No true expertise.
Trump didn't have no resume that qualified him to be president.
I know, but it's different when people vote for it, because we understand like stupid people vote.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But there's no like certification or certification.
Like transportation.
To say like, hey, you're certified in transportation knowledge.
Right. Like you would think somebody in New York would be more qualified.
Yeah, they know the bus system, the metro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anywho, it is I think a moment to be celebrated and applauded. So
kudos. Come on, guys, when you're doing it.
So did he come out openly after he was appointed?
No, before, yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that's what's up.
He big out. He big at when he was the mayor and everything.
That's what's up.
In South Bend, Indiana, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. Last but not least, so going back to that whole Capitol riot,
terrorism attack.
Yeah, exactly.
The vanilla niggas.
So more recently, AOC like had like a whole. I did see a portion of it. She went live on her Instagram and was talking about the experience and how, you know, the people who are involved really need to be held accountable, and like just basically going against like all the people who are arguing like you just need to get over it, and
right,
like it wasn't that big of a deal. Well, we'll get over it when those people are held accountable. So she did that, but then since then there's been a whole bunch of controversy,
a whole bunch of backlash. Yes.
So
people. What AOC in her Instagram live was describing, she was talking about her experience during the Capitol riots and how she was like scared for her life. How like at one point she was in the bathroom, she heard like banging on the door, talking about like where is she at? And then she also like that really affected her because she said she was a victim of like, I think it was sexual trauma when she was younger. So she was just like giving that experience out to the people. But then after that, she received a lot of backlash, specifically from Republicans, because they was like, well, the Capitol rioters was never in that part of the Capitol building. They would, and you know, one dude was like, I was 2 doors down from where AOC was, and I didn't like hear anything or like see anything. Yeah. So like she's lying. So on Twitter, it was trending Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Smollett, making her akin to Jussie Smollett, who was also, has he been proven to be lying about his experience? Who also was allegedly lying about his experience as well. So it just, and then some other than Democrats, of course, came out was like, we were there too. Like we all were there. So why are you trying to make her experience like invalid?
Yeah, and I feel like they have a reason to like try to like paint this picture of her. You know,
right? They hate her.
Yes.
For good reason, because she's on their asses.
Yes.
But it was just like, why not leave her alone for one? We all knew, like once they was in there, I'm like, they're gonna be looking for AOC.
Yes,
they're gonna be looking for her,
like they was looking for Nancy. Like, you know, of course.
Yeah, like the people who
some of the more vocal folks, you know, who like you said have been on their ass about everything, like
everything. So it was just interesting to see like how people were trying to like invalidate another woman of color experience again, who's out there just trying to do her best for her representative. So it's interesting to see. But luckily, I think that transpired and went over fairly quickly.
Yeah, because I actually didn't even hear about it. You mentioned it to me.
Right.
I saw her, like I said, a portion of her live, but I had no clue they was calling her Jussie Smollett.
Yeah, so I seen this trend. I'm like, Smollett? I was not like Jussie. You know, I had to click, and I was like, oh, wow. But I think it all went over past, and they was like, she's telling the truth about her experience.
Good, because I mean, I'm glad to hear that, because, you know, these trolls can be like, they won't stop. Let up, and they death threats and all that. And these people
they kill people.
Yeah,
they killed people.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, these niggas crazy.
Okay, so
Vanilla Ice is crazy.
Yeah, vanilla niggas.
No, don't call them that.
Just vanilla. Vanilla wafers.
Okay, with that, let's get into this topic of labels. So last or whatever episode, we were talking. You were doing your hot topics, or was that the debates?
It was one of the debates. The shade room debates.
Okay, so part of the shade room debates where you had mentioned whether or not putting a label on a relationship, what was it? How did you phrase it?
Changes the bond.
Changes the bond. That was the question. Okay.
That was better than what I
and that sparked
That's what you said, though.
It is.
the debate, right, and conversation. So we thought, okay, why don't we carry that over into a new episode where we can really kind of focus on that and unpack it.
Yeah.
So with that, I will start just back with that same question. Do you think a title changes the dynamic? I'm going to switch it up a little bit. The dynamics of a relationship. I'm not going to say bond, because the reason why I'm not saying bond is because that implies that
love is
like
changed.
the strength of a relationship, where I'm not asking that. I'm just asking about the dynamics, and it could be the strength. It could be something else.
Changes everything that was said in the previous episode, because dynamic and bond is different. And my answer was no, it doesn't change the bond. Because I give you this title doesn't mean I love you any more or any less. Does it change the way
that
I
was
might...
the point you was making. But go ahead.
Does it change the way I might move? To an extent, but not completely. Because when I exclusively date, I'm building towards that commitment. I just haven't made that commitment.
Why not?
Because I still want to know if, like, there's a vetting process. Like we said.
Wait, I'm pause. Please save that thought.
Why are you pausing me?
Because I don't want you to get too ahead. Okay, go ahead. I asked, do you think it changes the dynamics? And you about to tell me about vetting, dating exclusively.
Does it change? Answer the question.
Kind of dating.
It's a gray area.
Why is it dark gray, light gray?
Gray. 50 Shades
Why
of gray.
is it gray?
Because there's no yes or no to it. There's a sometimes, because it changes depending on who you're dealing with. Because everybody's different.
So it can change the dynamic of the relationship.
Does it change depending on who you're dealing with, because you assume different risks based on who you're talking to? Is that like, do you think one person might be like getting into a relationship with them might come with a certain set of baggage, or like carry some risks that you're like, okay, well.
Absolutely. I think anybody you're dating, when you get to that point to where you want to commit to them, you realize that this person has qualities that you fuck with, but they also have some shit that you just got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has stuff that they bring to the table. But if you're dealing with somebody different, they could have more or less of what you want to deal with or what you don't want to deal with. And it just changes based off of that alone.
And the person.
Well, that's okay. So you think a title change the dynamics of a relationship?
Yes.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 against 1, Cameron. You have some work to do.
No work to do.
You just want to gang up because everybody.
Oh no, I love you. Okay, so how long is it before you actually place a title on a relationship?
Don't ask me.
Like we said, it depends on the actual relationship.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But what would you say is like, what do you think is like an appropriate amount of time? Do you think it's okay for people to be like, oh, we're dating or whatever after like a week?
I think it's based off of feeling with an individual, not so much a time.
But I do think sometimes it's like, oh, if you guys have been dating for like a year without a label, that's a bit much. So
it's a big problem.
A problem. That was my last relationship.
See, I see that as
we was dating for a year before it was we were actually committed.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. I agree.
But there's also different shit that happens in that year that makes you, uncertain if you want to make that commitment or not, but you also aren't ready to give up on that.
I don't know. I just feel like after a year, after 6 months, child, it's like very telling if you haven't, at that point, haven't figured out whether or not you're going to want to make that commitment.
Because I feel like you probably didn't want to do it in the first place. After a year?
A year is a very long time, Cameron.
It is.
To be entertaining something. Because that's entertaining. Show. Right.
I don't know what to tell you. It was my past. It happened. I'm over it.
But also, like something like a week is like very. I do think like a week is like very short though. So I do think it's like it's like a sweet spot in there where it's like we've been dating for like 2-3 months and now we want to like put something on there.
Yeah. But see, also like I feel like you kind of want to know how this person is in the good, bad, and the ugly before you make that commitment.
It's not marriage.
No, I don't. I disagree. Only reason I disagree is because first of all, yes, it's not marriage, but you're never gonna know all the, you know what I mean? But you're basically.
I still want to taste a
you're
little
taking
Costco
a
sample.
chance. You're taking a chance with this person, saying like, you know what I know of you, I am willing to take this journey with you.
You're basically saying it's a gamble.
Yes.
So I'm wrong for not wanting to make a gamble instead of doing something that's certain.
But was you certain after the year?
But I also feel like you're gambling by not putting right, exactly. And I also feel like you're gambling by not putting a label on it, right?
How?
The reason why I say that is because in the absence of a label, you're like we've mentioned before, like you're kind of free. Yeah, you don't have commitment. You're free to really do whatever you said. You don't have to answer to them about your movements and all this and that. And so you're gambling that they're going to stick around while you figure it out, right?
I mean, but that's what communication is for.
Ooh. You got your nerve.
Right.
You the first one burping in somebody's face.
Well, I don't blow it.
Oh, because
Continue.
Right. Shit, I forgot what I was saying.
What did you say?
I was talking about like a gamble, like because you don't put a label on.
So communication. Yeah. You're taking that gamble that they might leave, but that's as long as you open a clear line of communication and understanding and transparency. I feel like if that person gets to that point, then we can talk about it.
Get to what point? Like
so where you feel like, okay, it's been kind of long. I need that commitment. Okay, bring it up. Until then, we all have our vetting processes, and it just happens to be mine that I want to feel a little more certain versus being like, it's 3 months. I'm gonna take that gamble, call it a commitment, and whatever happens, happens. If my vetting process is a little longer and I want to see a sample of what it looks like to go through the
ugly. You had the buffet.
Right, but I'm saying at that year mark, it was made official for me. Because at that time, we got to go through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. You know what I'm saying? But until then, I feel like 3 months, you don't have enough time. Some cases, you do. A lot can happen in 3 months.
Just to be like a year. Okay, Abel.
Right?
A year for just like dating one person a whole year.
Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with that.
I guess what I'm trying to understand is because you said that the label doesn't necessarily change anything, then what is the harm in placing the label on it and making the commitment? And let's say it doesn't pan out. Okay, it doesn't pan out. You've technically dated multiple people before, right? Even without the label.
Right.
So what's the difference of putting a label on it, drawing some clear lines, having that clarity that you and me are in this together, we're going to try to work it out, versus this year of like, let me see.
Of running tests.
I mean, I guess in that instance, there is no true difference. Because essentially you can't say it's a waste of time because you're doing that anyway.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think you might have stumped me there.
Are we winning?
I just don't understand. Like, if it's no difference, why not just, for you, the label don't make a difference, the bond don't change. So you might as well just say the person your girlfriend after a week.
After a week?
I don't know about
or two. But I'm just, you know me, I'm here for the dramatics, darling. Yeah. But I'm like, if it doesn't matter.
So I don't know. Are you coming after me or her now? Because she said you could do it after a week, and I said a year.
No, I didn't say. I mean, you could. I mean, so my parents now have been together for 35, going on 36 years this year, married, and my mom.
Love.
Huh?
I said, black love.
And after like, I don't know, they weren't even dating that long. It might have been like a month or something. My dad told my mom like, I'm gonna marry you. Like, you about to be the woman I marry. Eventually, they got married.
What were they? Is that first man?
My dad might have been like 30 and my mom might have been like 28 or something like that. So they were older. Yeah, not real young. But like, anyway,
you kind of like knew
at that
some
point,
things.
yeah. At that point, you have a lot of experiences. You learn what you can and cannot.
So, Cameron, this makes me come back to like you like waiting for a while and all that stuff, because like to your point, you develop this experience, like you know what you want and what you don't want. You don't need to sample. You know what you want.
You know hot dog nasty.
So like yeah, I understand that too, but from my experiences, I've only had 2 relationships.
Okay.
And my first relationship was when I was 23.
Okay.
And then my last one was just recently, like less than 3 months ago.
Yes.
Or 3 months ago. So it's like I'm still learning what I will and won't compromise on in relationships.
Okay.
So I'm also not ready to just be like, oh, bam, yep, let's do it. You feel me? So I'm still
This is a
learning,
different perspective.
I'm still learning myself within relationships. Yes, I am very confident in what I like and don't like. But as far as compromise goes, I don't know how far I can go and what I can and cannot sacrifice yet.
This is different. And I actually, Cameron, I'm going to give you some points for that. Because what it came off as when we had our conversation previously and what you started off with this time, it very much, to me, came off as like, I have to vet this person. But what I'm hearing you say now is that it's not just that. It's like,
not
you're
them,
not,
it's me.
Yeah, like you have more to learn about yourself in a relationship and what you can provide and give and take and all that stuff. So I think that is fair. Cameron, go at your own pace. What were you about to say?
Well, I don't know if that necessarily makes a difference either. Because I'm like, to me, like it changes like from person to person. Some shit I would deal with Brian, but with Cardell, I'm not doing it.
Right, and that's what I'm learning as well. I'm currently learning that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we said each person is different, and that's why the timeline doesn't. The structure of when you think it should happen versus when it shouldn't varies because each individual person has different things that they offer or don't offer. So I'm currently learning that, you know, like, oh, with this person, I might want to wait. You feel me? Like, I don't know yet. With this person, be like, oh, bet. Like, I know off top, like, I know it's going to happen. When? I don't know, but it's going to be soon. It's going to be sooner than later. So that's...
But I also think at a certain point, like, after a couple of months in, if I still don't know, like, if I want to be in a relationship with you, then I'm just like...
On to the next.
Yeah, I was like, then it's not going to happen. I'm like, at that point, I feel like you might think about like, oh, I want to like change this person in order to like make it work for me. I was like, especially like with like men, talk about like when we're like dating women and things like that. Like getting married is another way. It's like after like 10 years, if you don't know if you want to marry her.
Yeah, that's.
Come on now.
I feel like that's different to me.
Why?
Because
there's more at stake there, yes.
Yeah, a lot more at stake for that, and like especially, I mean, 10 years, nigga. Like at that point,
you know me, the dramatics,
right? But I'm saying 10 years, like nigga. Even
some people do wait that long.
They do.
Yeah, I was. It's funny. I was in Safer the other day, and this dude was like, "Yeah, you know, me and my girl been together for like 16 years." I'm like, "Oh, that's what's up. Y'all married?" And he's like, "Nah, she keep hinting at it though." And I just said, and I'm like, you might want to propose, brother." Like, it's about that time. And he was like, I'll think about it. And I'm like, all right, well, have a nice day. Because I don't want no parts of that. But, like, at some point, it's like, all right, nigga, you're being ridiculous. Like, I feel like, for me, the process, like, a 3 to 5 year, I should know. And at that point, if we pass 5 years, then don't look forward to it.
Woo, child. Well, it took me 7.
Woo, child.
But
it also depends on how old you are and, like, where you at in life.
Yeah, I was going to say, now... marriage, that I do feel like that does change things. I mean, again, Cameron, like you said, like the love and all that stuff's still there, but that's a totally different ball game.
How you operate changes.
Yeah, I mean,
I think to me it changes less so than in a relationship one.
Well, what I'm saying is like it doesn't. I'm not saying that it really necessarily changes your relationship, but some of the responsibilities you have outside of your relationship, because now like you are making a commitment, you make these vows, right, that you have to uphold, and so like it's a lot of shit that can happen outside of your relationship, whether it's money, finances, houses, you got kids, and da 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 da. So that's what I mean, but not necessarily this.
Yeah. I was thinking like at that point you start making like joint accounts and shit like that, and when you're just in a relationship, boyfriend girlfriend, I don't see that happening. But when you do a marriage, I see joint account. What?
We're on the same page, Cameron. You think you should have a joint account as dating?
No. When we are like boyfriend and girlfriend for a number of years or whatever, yes. I'm not gonna go into like this financial situation with you after we get married. I'm not doing that. I need to know.
I can see like leading up into marriage, but not
right. I need to know joint account. Let's put our money here. Let's see how you do. Let's see how you do. I ain't gonna be surprised.
Yeah, but
when
then
we
you
get
can
married.
still have the conversation.
Yeah, I would rather have a conversation than gambling.
Action. I need action.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the case, you can look into their bank account. I'm not putting my money into account with your money, and we don't got this law-abiding commitment.
No, I'm not saying that you put all like to me like joint accounts. To me, I don't think like all our money should be
but it's
infused
towards
into one.
expenses for
I would
us.
think like for our expenses together, like from our checks, we need to put like this money, especially when we start living together. I think
that's fair.
Yeah, I'm like I just need to. I understand you can say whatever you want to say, but I need to see like how we actually move in this time
When it
together
comes to money.
before I'm like you can be like, oh yeah, I think money should be like this. I think it should be X, Y, and Z, and then something else happens later.
Because money does change.
So I think it does make yes, it does. It's like one of the leading causes of divorce, is dealing with money and bankruptcies and all that stuff. But it does make sense, you know, like when you're living together or like you have a pet or a child or whatever, like to have a joint account for those expenses.
See, I never thought about it like that. You know me, I'm all in with my shit. So when I'm thinking joint account, I'm thinking, nigga, all our money going here.
No. Everyone should always
have
keep
their own
own bag.
shit. Yeah,
yes.
right. But I never thought about like a percentage of our money should go here, and that could be towards our joint expenses.
Right, like the
never
things
thought
we
about
want
that.
like together,
Yeah.
we should both put in
For it.
I ain't saying where percentage that is, but we all should put in for like expenses for like the home we live together, that car we live together.
Yes.
We should have that for that. Now with your own money, you can do whatever
the fuck
you
you
want
want,
to do with that. But things that we need to like do together, you need to
I think that'll work well for trips and shit too.
It works for other things in the Bahamas, but yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because I think if I go into a marriage, there shouldn't be things that I don't
know yet.
Well, of course, there will be some things you don't know yet. You can find out new things 30 years later.
Yes.
But like some of the basic things that I should be comfortable enough with to like move into this like new chapter. At this point, it's a new book with you. Yeah. We should be on series 5 at that point, and I shouldn't be like. So our finances. I'm like, we should have that conversation a long time ago, and like made steps toward that a long time ago.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know about unless you're living together. I don't know about 2 to 3 years into the relationship because I still feel like within 2 years, after 2 years, still anything can happen. After 10 years, anything can happen. But you should still. I feel like.
So when do you think is a good time to have that financial conversation?
I think the
conversation you can have.
Joint account.
Yeah, I'm talking about the joint account. Yeah, you can have the conversation.
Yeah, I don't even think that joint account needs to happen like as soon as like you move in together either.
Yeah.
But if we've been together for also depends on how old you are.
Yes.
For like 5 years, I'm like at some point we need to like, and we start like doing more things. I think when you start doing more things financially together, I think that's when we needs to like have like a joint account.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense.
It's all not a test, but it's all like just to make sure we on the same page.
A vetting process.
Huh? Yeah, but mine has a label on it already.
What, the account?
Yes, I'm like you trying to vet me for no benefits.
I have an activity I want us to play.
That'd be fucked up. You'll be mad at me, Kevin.
I wish I had a
sorry.
pen so I can
I'm
make
not
some
gay.
separate. Cut it out.
Oh.
Hey, Mom.
I want to play an activity.
Want to play a game?
Yes. I wish I was supposed to have little scraps of paper, but whatever. Go along with it, gentlemen.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you define the following titles? So I want to know whether you would cluster some together or whether you think they're each their own distinct thing.
This is a clarification game for you.
No, for y'all. Somebody got to make it make sense. So
You got
here are the titles. I'm gonna Start with.
Of
No, actually,
course.
you know what? He's
Thank-
worse than you. I'm gonna start with you.
Wow.
So here are the titles:
Out
Okay.
of pocket.
talking,
Okay.
dating, dating exclusively, in a relationship, and married. So,
You went in order.
Yeah. What?
so those are all distinct categories to you. I know they are to you because you've.
I mean, I kind of would put
What's
Talking-
missing?
talking
What?
and
Talking and
dating are
dating
the
can go
same.
together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you gotta be talking.
So that's
to
how
me.
you guys describe dating. Talking. Okay.
I hate the word talking.
No,
Okay. Oh wait.
I like the word talking.
So you still think they're all distinct
Stop looking over here if you want me
categories
to talk.
other than talking and dating? What category am I missing?
You asking me or
Because
him?
there's probably some extras that you got.
I guess the friends with benefits one.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
I don't because it
I
kind of
think friends with. Well, okay, let's.
Yeah,
let's
you
put
gotta
it on the
put
table.
it in there.
Okay, it's on the table.
right because you usually at some point have to talk already.
Because technically, without that, we in a relationship label. To me, it is a friend with benefits. Okay, so
No, 'cause we
Oh,
couldn't-
let's start with talking. How
Yes.
do you define talking? Because you guys said you didn't like the word talking.
He said that. I like the word talking. Go, Cameron.
Oh, you talking to me now?
No, I'm
am.
talking. No, I'm talking.
What's the question? Why do I hate the word
No,
talking?
how do you define the word talking? And then, what don't
I
you
don't-
like
I
about
mean,
we
it?
don't
so-
have a difference.
Yeah, talking and dating to me is the same thing. Like,
Okay.
I don't like the fact that, oh yeah, we just talking. Like, nigga, I talk to everybody on a day-to-day basis. Like, nigga, I just talk to my mom. The fuck? Like, no. If we're dating, we're dating. We hanging out. We have constant communication, trying to get to know each other. That's called dating. That's courting.
So
I'm
that's
not-
why I feel some people use the term, perhaps, some people might use the term talking because they take dating probably in the same way that, like, if I say I'm dating somebody, we're
You in a relationship.
dating. Yes. We're not going on casual dates here and there. We're dating.
I use talking in a sense because sometimes like I talk to somebody before I went on a date with them.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, talking is something very casual.
Like so like
oh, we
like we're like
DM here and
like we're
there.
like so like we was talking. I talk to people without actually ever going on a date with them.
yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
but also,
true,
like, if
true.
I think it's the actual word of dating. I just wouldn't say, because I feel like it's a little bit more weight on it instead
Mm-hmm.
of talking. Even though I could have went on a date with someone a couple times, I would just say, like, oh, we just talking for two reasons. The first one is not to, like, a couple reasons, not to, like, let anyone else I'm talking to get a different idea of what I'm talking about. 'Cause if I would say, like, oh, we're dating, but if I say we're talking, it's different.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
But
also,
what if you just say we dated?
but we still currently
We
doing
dated
it.
would be.
Yeah, okay.
That
went
would
on a
apply to
date.
me. You dated and
Woke
broke
up. Yeah, and also I don't also want to scare that other person. Like when we just seeing what we're doing, like
Yeah.
we're dating, it's like, you know, it just
I'm
and
like,
also to protect myself.
Also, dating. Does it sound like dating implies you're in a relationship?
No, it just
In of
requires
some form, yes,
a little more commitment than
Some
talking.
form.
some form. Because I get off the phone with that person and tell another person how I want to date the day after the same thing.
That's why it's levels to this shit.
Woo, we got a lot of work to do with y'all. So that's talking. So dating. What's dating?
If we have went out and did an activity of some sort together, we are dating.
How are you dating, like, actively? That's what I'm trying to get at. Because, like,
You could go on multiple dates in a week. I go on a date with Samantha and
no, I'm talking about how are you dating Samantha?
We
just
go
went out
to
If
dinner.
dating is just so you
We
just
gonna have a
you just
picnic.
went to dinner. You're not dating her.
That's a date. I'm picking
You went
you up.
on
I'm
a date
paying.
does not mean
But if
you
I do
are
it more than
dating
once-
that specific
Well, I
person.
can go to multiple dates with Samantha in a month, and Courtney and Robert.
For someone who
And that's
don't
called
think
dating.
labels define a relation, whatever, you sure do got a lot of labels.
It's stages, my nigga.
Stages, labels, potato. So dating is going if you go on a date with them once, and maybe you go on another one next month,
Right,
and
right,
you're
right.
dating the person.
Right.
Oh, child. So what's
Just because
dating?
you found the love of your life
What
at
is
2,
dating exclusively?
motherfucker.
That means after Samantha, Courtney, and Robert, I just say I want to.
I want to only see Robert.
Right. But now we're dating.
Now we're
exclusively.
dating exclusively.
So what is in a relationship?
When I say, Robert, do you want to be my boyfriend?
Do you want to be my
Shout
boyfriend?
out to B. Simone. That's it. Okay, you ready?
So dating exclusively and in a relationship are two separate things.
Yes.
Lord, y'all. Okay. Married. We already kind of had the married conversation.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, girl, you skipped engaged.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole another level.
That's where you at.
So engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I think it's pretty.
It can still break off.
That's true.
Well,
not
they all can.
Not this.
I'm just saying.
They all can break off.
No, yes,
Yeah.
they all can, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I was getting at with you, Cameron, early on was like, well, what risk is there in putting a label on it? Like, it's the same risk you assume if you don't put a label on it. Like, it'll either work out or it won't.
I think it's a protection thing for me.
Oh, okay.
Because like if I put that label on it, like bam, we in a relationship, but I still don't know you enough or trust you enough to where you just fuck it off and then you cheat on me. It's like, all right,
so
now
you're protecting yourself.
Because then it's like if we just dating exclusively and we don't have a title on it, I expect some sort of commitment from you, but I understand if you fuck off.
Right.
And I'll give you more of a leeway for it.
I think
not myself.
I think it's two ways too. I think
it's
the part you missing. It also gives you room to do what the fuck you want to do too.
Right, it does.
But you ain't said that.
No.
Time.
I've said it before because I've said that.
Before you air his dirty laundry.
What to anybody? For me too.
Right, but what I've said before.
So that's what you.
It says two-way things. Like if I know I don't want to, like I don't know yet, so it still give me an opportunity. Like if I see another opportunity arises. Yeah. I can take that opportunity
and not feel bad about it.
But like
as bad.
But like I've said before, for myself, even dating exclusively, I explicitly say that I'm dating you and I'm not talking to anyone else. Yes. You can do whatever the hell you want. That's because we haven't made that commitment yet. But so I'll be less upset with you if you do that. But if we're in a committed relationship and you do that shit, I'm highly upset.
This is where you lost me though. You said. Well, I say we're dating exclusively.
Don't work both ways.
Yeah, like how could you be dating exclusively? That is a mutual agreement. Should be.
I'm aware.
But marriages can work the same way.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Like you can still fuck with somebody else and we still be married and I'm not.
Well, yeah, if it's a mutual agreement.
Right. That's it. It's a conversation.
It's a mutual agreement, but you can still fuck it off. You can be married and you can still cheat.
See, but cheating is different from having a mutual agreement being like you can go and do what you want to do. I don't really have interest in anyone else.
And this is my point in
Ashley Darby in them.
And this is my point in it. It means less if that commitment isn't there for me.
What means less?
You going to fuck off and do something else.
Right.
Oh, if you haven't established that we're in a committed relationship.
It's a protection thing for me.
Less hurt involved.
I understand
expectations of the person.
Right.
The whole thing.
Because I know what I'm going to do. I'm only fucking with you. But to protect myself, you do whatever the fuck you want. Mm-hmm. Until I know I can trust you in a commitment.
But also, when you just dating exclusively, is there something also still in the back of your head, like, I can get out of this easily? Or if I see another opportunity arises, I can.
No,
move.
Because for me, it's hard to break up with somebody anyway. I don't give a damn if we dating exclusively, or in a relationship. I have this thing where it's hard for me to hurt people's feelings if we're romantically involved. Friends, fuck you niggas. Like, I love y'all, but fuck you niggas.
Well, why does it have to be feelings hurt?
It's a relationship.
What?
I know, but
feelings are part of it.
People a lot of times separate amicably.
Then your feelings not hurt.
Right.
I mean, but feelings gonna be hurt. It is what it is. It's fleeting.
And that's
it doesn't
fine.
Last forever.
It's fine. And I proceeded to say,
I think if you stab someone in the back or in the front, then feelings gonna be hurt.
If we just like break up mutually and amicably, that's still
your feelings are going to be. I know that's what I'm accepting of that. I'm like, yes, but
and that's
like,
why
you gotta rip the Band-Aid off.
I said for me it's hard to do that. I'm not saying
I know, but if it's difficult for you to do at dating exclusively in a relationship, then what's the point? Why
feelings are involved no matter what?
Why not go from dating to in a relationship? It's gonna hurt either way.
Because I don't want to, Lauren. God damn it.
And on that note,
shit, leave me the fuck alone.
I think I won.
No.
the debate.
What's
so
the
remember to
debate?
like, subscribe, click that link, drop a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. Tell us what you think.
Right,
Do
if you
see
agree
these
with
as-
Low.
Which you probably
of
don't,
course you
because
do,
she crazy.
because-
You found the love of her life at 3.
And anyways, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, yada yada yada. You can follow at Next Topic Podcast.
Not
you can
yada,
listen
yada,
to us
yada.
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that.
Good
Yes.
stuff.
Follow me at Coolkeys, COOLKEYES on Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at shots_space. That's FHADS_SPACE.
You can follow me on everything at Clicks by Cam, and that's KLICKSBYKAM.
Ooh, child. Public school education. Get you every
Remember to like,
time.
subscribe, click that link. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. Find your man, baby.
DM her all the bullshit.
Don't.